Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Geaux Stros. We are just a couple of minutes away from the game one at home versus the Toronto Blue Jays. Hunter Brown is on the mound today for the Astros. He's going to be facing Kevin Gausman. And I'm about to make myself a hot cup of coffee. This game should be started in about 6 or 7 minutes, and that should be the first pitch. Danny Berry Sports, thank you for being here. I see your message. Go Astros. Go Stros. But I just had a very light breakfast. I still want to get a banana if I possibly can to help with my blood flow. But I need to pour my coffee. So I'll be right back, everyone. Get settled in, get relaxed, and this game will be started in just a few minutes. All right, everyone, I'm back. Let's see what we got going on with the live feed. They're still on commercial right now. It is 2 minutes into the official game time. Let me double check my scoreboard and make sure everything is looking good. Yep, I forgot to update a few things earlier. For those of you who don't make and post YouTube videos or do live streams, whenever you're making new videos or creating new live streams or scheduling live streams, there are a few things to keep in mind. Some things that can help you kind of be more efficient and get those things done faster, but there are also some things that if you're not paying attention to will slow you down. And I got slowed down a little bit by some of those things this morning. I forgot to do a thumbnail, so I had to do that very quickly. And then I realized that the title hadn't been changed. It still had the Padres. So everything else was correct except it said Game 1 against the Padres. That would not be correct. I had to change that. Finally got it all taken care of. I also realized that I didn't have enough coffee. Had to take myself down to the convenience store. Just walked about 1 block down the road here. Grabbed myself some more pour-over coffee. But everything seems to be good to go now. It looks like everything's working. You're going to have to apologize. I'm going to have to apologize to you guys, rather, because today I am at a friend's house and there's no external monitor, so it will be a little difficult for me to figure out how to do any game highlights or previews. Hunter Brown is warming up on the mound right now. He'll be tossing the rock here in just a few moments. I think he's got over 17 innings without giving up a run. Pretty solid right now. Astros really need these solid pitchers right now until they get their batting consistently going. Games like yesterday are so disappointing. We could have swept the Padres. Should have. But they just couldn't manage to get much on the board. Just 2 runs. It was a pitcher's duel yesterday. But the Astros are going to have to start hitting better than that. Hitting batter. Here's an interesting question. I see on the screen right now the Astros City Connect logo. How are you guys feeling about it? The A on the City Connect logo? I'm going to be honest. I said yesterday, and I'll say it again, I don't really like it. The reason I don't like it is because it looks too much like the Arizona Diamondbacks logo. I don't have a problem with the jerseys. I don't think the jerseys look amazing. But I just don't like the A on the hat. Brown is ready to go. He is facing Bo Bichette. And here's the first pitch of the game. Right in there. Strike 1. 98 miles an hour on the lower inside corner. That's the way to start the game off. Here comes the next pitch. Bichette goes after it, fouls it off on the first base side, and 0-2. Will Bite says, do people drink hot water all over Asia? Now that's a Chinese thing, my friend. 0-2 is the count. Here comes the pitch to Bichette. Strike 3, a swing and a miss. Hunter Brown starts the game off with 3 straight strikes. Heck yes. Strike on the lower inside corner. Foul ball. And then a swing and a miss on a 97 mile per hour fastball. Levi says still won the series against the best team. That's true. What are you talking about? We're the best team. I love the new City Connects, and I usually hate white uniforms. Astros do have a couple of white uniforms that I think are really nice, but I can see what you mean there. The darker uniforms tend to be more interesting. 1-0 against Guerrero. Next pitch is in the dirt for ball 2. 2-0 with 1 out, nobody on. And my coffee, I believe, is ready. Vladimir Guerrero. Here's the pitch. Just a little inside. Ball 3. So Hunter Brown throws 3 straight strikes and then comes back with 3 straight balls on the next batter. Here comes the pitch. Right in the bottom of the zone, strike 1. Guerrero tosses his bat away. He thinks he's got a walk, and he's shaking his head. Kind of a little bit of a fool there. It was right in the bottom of the zone. There was no question about it. 3 balls and 1 strike. Here comes the pitch to Guerrero. He grounds that one to third. No, the shortstop. Pena has to do a jump throw. What a long throw by Pena. Pena makes a beautiful play there. He has to run to his right to grab that. A bouncing ground ball between him and Paredes. He jumps up in the air and throws the ball all the way across without so much as a bounce to Christian Walker and gets the out. Out number 2 on an excellent play. 2 up and 2 down. Anthony Santander is at the plate. I wonder if the Orioles fans miss him. Seems kind of strange seeing him on the Blue Jays. That first pitch is in there for strike 1. Oh and 1. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 98 up in the zone. Man. Hunter Brown looking good right now. Will Blight, I was going to tell you that in Japan, ice water, you get ice water basically everywhere. Every restaurant you go to, they give you ice water. It's like being in the U.S. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Hits straight up. Is it going to be playable? Looks like it should be. Yonder Diaz is underneath it. He takes it. No problem. Good job on that foul ball. So a strikeout, a ground out, and a foul out. 3 up and 3 down for Hunter Brown. We're going to go into the bottom of the first. No hits, no runs. Astros are going to have the opportunity to get on the board first. Let's see if they can do it. All of my Chinese friends, I say all of them, most of them, the vast majority complain when they come to Japan because they go into a restaurant and they bring them ice water. And you should see how uncomfortable they become. They start looking around and, it looks like something's really, really wrong. And I remember the first time that happened, we go to the restaurant, they bring our ice water over, and then suddenly they start shifting around and looking around, and it's like something's wrong. And I say, "Are you okay? Something wrong?" Well, is there hot water? This is ice water. And they wouldn't touch it. They act like it's the plague or something. It's hilarious. But this is very much a Chinese thing. They have been indoctrinated to believe. You might wonder, why is that? Is it just a personal preference? No. They've been indoctrinated to believe that drinking cold water is bad for you. It's unhealthy. Drinking hot water is healthy. And I created a joke that, because I lived in China for almost 7 years, and I created a joke. Whenever I hear something like that just sounds weird, I say, that's a quote from Dr. Mao. Dr. Mao. Anytime there's some kind of weird, strange belief system or superstition from China, I always call it. That's Dr. Mao. Gosman's on the mound facing Altuve. The first pitch is just a tad low for ball one. Good take by Altuve. I like that orange sleeve on Altuve's right arm. Here comes the next pitch. That one doesn't miss. It is low, but is in the zone. That evens the count, 1-1. Here comes the pitch. The 1-1 is outside and low for ball two. Can you guys believe that Altuve is now second in batting average to Jake Myers? Jake Myers, who's batting fifth today. Oh, that pitch is on the outside edge. Strike two. So ball strike, ball strike. Altuve is just waiting and waiting and waiting. He hasn't taken a swing yet. Alvarez is on deck batting second today. Here comes a pitch. In the dirt, ball three. So ball strike, ball strike, ball. Altuve has taken 5 straight pitches. Gosman comes set. Here's the pitch to Altuve. Little low, ball 4. Altuve gets the ball. Man, that was a close take. Just about an inch or two below the zone. Alvarez comes to the plate. Last year versus Toronto, Alvarez had a .458 batting average with 5 home runs and a 1.8 OPS. That's nuts. First pitch is a strike. Man, if I had $1 for every time Alvarez took a first pitch strike this year, I'd have at least $25 or $30. Oh, 1 is the count. Altuve on first. Here's the pitch. Up and in, but a strike. Jordan didn't like that. He pulled back, but it was a strike. It was in there, so it's 0-2. Diking Park doesn't look too full today. See some empty seats there. Here's the pitch. Altuve is going, and Alvarez goes to left field with a line drive. Altuve's going to have to go back because he's not going to make it. He's going to be doubled up. That was a hit and run, apparently. Altuve took off. He was off to the races. Alvarez hit it out to left field. But that ball was right to the left fielder, and all he had to do was make an easy throw to first base. It was a great catch by the first baseman because it bounced right in front of him, but he backhanded it. 2 away with Alvarez's fly out and double play ball. Isaac Paredes comes to the plate. First pitch is on the outside edge for strike 1. Yeah, Altuve wasn't even looking. He wasn't even looking to see where the ball was going. Just bad base running on Altuve right there. That's his bad. Here's a 0-1 pitch. Outside, ball 1. 96 mile per hour fastball, missing by about a foot. One and one is the count with 2 outs, nobody on. Pitch to Paredes. He takes that one right in there. 96 miles an hour for a strike. Will Bite says, I'm always cold. So I'm one of very few Americans that hates ice. I heard a Chinese person say drink hot water, and now I wish that I'd always had hot water. Well, if it's cold outside, I can understand it. But what I don't understand is Chinese giving me hot water when it's right in the middle of summer. That's just stupid to me. Isak Paredes grounds out to the shortstop. That'll be out number 3, and nothing doing for the Astros in the bottom of the first, despite getting a leadoff walk. Going into the top of the second, all zeros, no hits, no errors, no runs. Yeah, when I first moved to China and worked over there, I lived in the South. It's very hot and humid. Not as bad as Louisiana or Houston in that area, but still pretty bad. Really bad. And even in the middle of summer, you go to a restaurant and you sit down and they serve you this water that is so incredibly hot you can't even drink it. Actually, it's so hot you can't even hold the cup. I'm not kidding. It sounds like an exaggeration, but it's not a joke. Every restaurant, every cafe, whatever you go to, they bring you hot water. It's so incredibly freaking hot, you can't even pick up the cup. And it could be 98 degrees outside and humid, and you're sweating, and they bring you hot water. And you just want to ask them, is this a joke? Are you being serious? But it's like that all over China. The hot water idea. Hot water is good for health. Cold water is bad for health. And then you come to Japan where you have the onsens, you know, the hot springs, and they have hot water, and they also have cold bath. So you can get out of the hot bath and you can sit in the cold bath for a few minutes. It's really difficult, but it's really good for the body. It's very, very healthy. It's really good for you to soak in the hot bath for a little bit, get in the cold bath for a little, alternate a couple of times. It's good for you, but Chinese are like, no, that's bad for you. They have this very strict, hot is good, cold is bad. Well, the very first pitch of the second inning, that's the first hit of the game, and it comes to George Springer, of all people. George Springer with a single right up the middle. He'll be on first base. And that brings up Andre Jimenez. I may have missed some of the conversation, but my acupuncturist recommends I drink hot water. She's yeah, because she's Chinese. All Chinese are like that. Strike in the bottom of the zone on Jimenez. Yeah, it's not like that all over Asia. That's really a Chinese thing. It's what I call a Maoism or a Dr. Mao thing. They come up with this idea a long time ago, and then everybody's just told that, and then they just believe it. Springer steals second. Does he come off? No. They say he's safe. Pena keeps the tag on him, but it just wasn't there in time. Yainer Diaz continues his lackluster performance, trying to throw people out. What is with Yainer Diaz and his inability to throw out runners? One and one is the count against Jimenez. Here comes a pitch. A little low, ball 2. No outs. Springer on second. Jimenez at the plate facing Hunter Brown. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss just below the zone. A nice changeup, and that evens the count 2-2. I'm going to have to mute the game because they're interviewing who appears to be a coach of the Cougars. And they're talking so much that it's distracting me from the game. So I'm just going to mute the game for now until they finish talking with this guy. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jimenez batting .205 for the season. Hunter Brown comes set. And here is the delivery. Too low, and it kind of bounces away from Yainer Diaz. Good timing as Springer is stealing third. Yainer doesn't even have an opportunity to throw that ball over there. So Springer has stolen second and third on Yainer Diaz. If I were the scouting coach on the Astros right now, I would say everybody steals all the time against the Astros because they're not getting thrown out at all. Next pitch is fouled away. Count remains 3-2. 98-mile-per-hour fastball. Springer might as well try to steal home. He might. He just might. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on a high fastball. 97 mile per hour. Second strikeout of the game for Hunter Brown. Tommy Likey. Of course, it was Springer. Ex-players always seem to have the advantage. All right, that brings up Alejandro Kirk. First pitch is on the way, a little high. Ball one. You know, it's interesting because in Japan, you go to places to eat, and they have a pitcher. A lot of them have a pitcher of ice water and glasses, and they don't even have an option for hot water in some of these places. You can't even get hot water. So whenever the Chinese go there and they're like, "Excuse me, where's the hot water?" Sometimes the waiters and waitresses are like, we don't have any hot water. What do you need hot water for?" Let's see here. That's a strike, 1-1. Here comes the next pitch from Brown. Fouled off for strike two. 1-2 strikes against Kirk. But you know, I don't know if you guys know this or not. Those of you with experience being around Chinese who are not more open-minded, but traditional Chinese, modern Chinese, even inside China, not very open-minded to eating other foods. That pitch is high. 2 strikes. I have a couple of close Chinese friends, and they like eating pretty much everything. They've really opened their minds up, and that's because of me, because they would go with me all the time to all these different places. Now they eat pretty much everything. Here's the next pitch from Brown. Swing and a miss, another strikeout right down the pipe. 99 miles an hour. How about that from Hunter Brown? Holy cow, he strikes out Kirk for the second out of the inning and his third strikeout. George Springer just camped out on third over there. But yeah, generally, Chinese like Chinese food. 99% of the time they want Chinese food. This is hit out to the right field. Ernie Clement all the way out to the warning track. Cam Smith is under it, and he puts it away out number 3. So George Springer gets a single and a couple of stolen bases, but nothing comes of it, thankfully. We're going to go into the bottom of the second. 1 hit for the Blue Jays, no runs. Astros, let's see if they can get a hit here in just a moment. I need to figure out how to turn this thing off. I've got to... There we go. Okay. It's a bit cooler today here in Kagoshima. I'm in Kagoshima, Japan today. Normally I'm at my house in Hiroshima, but I'm visiting somebody important to me. It's rainy today and overcast. The temperature has gone down a little bit, so it's a little cooler. Instead of running the AC, I've just got the balcony window open here, the balcony doors open. The air just coming in. Where's everybody at today? Five people following along. I hope you don't mind me trying to finish my banana, my nanner. I had some yogurt, a fruit cookie. This is the last of my breakfast. Kevin Gausman will be back up on the mound in just a moment to deliver his 14th pitch to Jeremy Pena, and Pena's in the box right now. We're almost ready to go. Here comes the pitch. Little low and outside for ball one. Good take by Pena. Here comes the pitch. That was almost a foot below the zone. Pena went after it. Strike one. The count is even. I'm so happy to see Myers in the fifth slot today, right in the middle of the lineup. Pena calls timeout. All right, banana finished. Here's the pitch. Ooh, right in the bottom of the zone. Barely got it. Strike two. One ball, two strikes. Here's the pitch in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 88 miles per hour. Those splitters from Gausman are pretty interesting. Two pitch on the way. Pena fouls it off on the right side. It sails off into the crowd. Crowd's a little quiet today. My guess is that it's not sold out. Pena batting .224. Takes that pitch low. 89 miles an hour. And suddenly the crowd starts to cheer a little bit. They must have been shown something on the screen. Here comes the 3-2 count. Let's hit up the middle and through. Jeremy Pena with a single right through the middle, right over the pitcher's head. Who was diving at that? Was that Springer? No, that wasn't Springer, right? Lead off hit by Jeremy Pena. And that brings up Mr. Baseball, Jake Myers. Here's the first pitch. That one's low, ball one. Good take. 8 for 18 in his last 5 games. 5 RBIs. Batting .305 for the season. Here's the 1-0 pitch. A little low. Ball 2. Good call by the ump. Good take. They're showing some highlights when Myers actually got a home run off of Gausman. That'd be nice to see that again right here. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Ooh, man, that could have gone either way. It was a little low, but the umpire called it a strike. Close. Here's the 2-1. Jeremy Pena's off to second base and fouled off by Myers. Pena's going to have to go back. The count's 2-2. Oh yeah, Pena's got a 12-game hitting streak going right now. Shows how much work he's having to do on his batting average. He's only batting .234 right now, even with that hitting streak. The 25th pitch of the game coming for Gausman in just a minute. Myers with the 2-2 count. Let's see what he can do here. Here comes the pitch. Up and in. 96 mile per hour fastball. Swing and a miss. Myers goes down swinging. Yainer Diaz comes to the plate. If Diaz does something here, he's really going to impress me, because I feel like the kind of pitcher that Gausman is a bad matchup for Diaz. Well, let's see. First pitch is low and away, ball 1. Missed by quite a bit. Yeah, and they said that this is the first time Yiner has ever faced this pitcher, so we'll see how it goes. 1-0. Here's the pitch. Pena's going to second. He's stealing. They don't get him. He's there in plenty of time. Safe on second. Nice. Good jump, good steal by Pena. The flash. Was not a bad throw. But Pena was all over it. Here's the 2-0 to Yiner. Swing and a miss. 87 mile per hour splitter. Low and inside. 2-1 is the count. Here's the pitch. Grounded to third, a big chopper. Yiner's thrown out easily at first base. Pena is held at second. That'll be 2 away. But Yiner at least got the bat on the ball. He didn't strike out. Gosman will be at 30 pitches with his first delivery to Cam Smith. First pitch to Cam Smith on the way. Swing and a miss right in the middle of the zone. 97 mile per hour fastball. Smith couldn't catch up to it. Just got started too late. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Another one right in there. Same spot, but he didn't swing, but same result. Strike 2. Here he comes. In the dirt. Blocked by the catcher. Pena does not advance. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Astros making Gosman work a little bit here. Just 2 innings and he's already up to his 34th pitch. Swing and a miss by Cam Smith. And that'll be it for the Astros in this inning. So the first inning, second inning, a couple of hits. But nothing doing for either team. Each team with 1 hit. No errors. No runs. Tied up at goose eggs going into the top of the 3rd. Exciting game so far, huh? You know, I actually looked on the win probability, the ESPN win probability. They've quite heavily favored the Astros in this game. I wonder if it's because of pitching. I don't know. I wouldn't think that it was because of pitching, though. But I may be wrong. Anything going on in the chat? Not yet. 5 people following along. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. If you have not already, please make sure you like the video. I do have 7 likes. That's good. Yesterday I got to my target of 20 likes. I think ultimately, I can actually take a look. Ultimately, my live stream yesterday wound up over 20 likes. How many likes did it have? It wound up with 21. So my goal was to get to 20, and I did that. I beat it by just 1. So that was good. I'm not sure that the Blue Jays are going to be as big a pool today as the Game 3 with the Padres. But either way, I'd like to try to get to 20 likes, so if you guys can help me out, I'd appreciate it. Hunter Brown's back up on the mound and ready to go. He's going to be facing Alan Rodin, and here's the first pitch. Nice pitch. Knuckle curve, strike one. Here comes the 0-1. Just below the zone, 89 mile per hour changeup. One and one is the count. Here's the delivery. Another one low. Changeup, about 88 miles an hour. Hunter Brown not throwing anything fast right now. Not really fast. Here comes the next pitch. Right on the outside corner. Good pitch. 98 mile per hour fastball. Strike two. Counts even. Hunter Brown gets the call that he wants. Here comes the pitch. Up and out, fouled away by Rodin. Well, that's interesting. Hunter Brown has the longest active scoreless inning streak so far, or right now in the majors. Another foul ball by Rodin. The count remains 2-2. Here comes the 2-2 pitch to Rodin. Ooh, just a little inside. Could have been a strike, but was not where Diaz was expecting it, and so he had to move a lot to get it. Umpire didn't see that it was a strike, so it's a full count. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Right in the bottom of the zone. He thought he had a walk, but that's strike three. He gets that one. He gets the punch out. That's 4 strikeouts for Hunter Brown. Nice changeup. Low and inside. Miles Straw comes to the plate, takes the first pitch right down the gut, 98 miles an hour, strike one. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Brown gets him swinging on that 98 mile per hour fastball up and in. He fouls it away for strike two. Here comes the 0-2 count. Swing and a miss. 5 strikeouts for Hunter Brown. Out number 2. Man. Straw went down. Wow. 5 of the 9 batters that he faced in the lineup struck out. He struck them out. Speaking of strikes, that's a foul ball to Bo Bichette. He fouls it back for strike one. Here comes the next pitch from Brown. This is a slow ground ball to short. Pena scoops it up, fires the first, and that's out number 3. Bichette grounds out. Hunter Brown, 3 up and 3 down again. Nice solid performance through 3 innings for Hunter Brown. He's cruising right now with 5 strikeouts. Awesome stuff right there. Kevin Gausman will be back up on the mound in just a moment. Brendan Rodgers is in the lineup today for the Astros. He's playing second base. Altuve is in left field. Rodgers is going to be followed by Zach DeCenzo, who's back in the game today, batting ninth. And then Jose Altuve will get another chance to bat after that. So Rodgers, DeCenzo, and then Altuve. And I could use myself another cup of coffee. This game is cruising along pretty quickly, actually. It's 9:48 in the morning here. Game started roughly 35 minutes ago or so. And it's moving along. Gausman is up to 33 pitches right now. Brendan Rodgers. Man, #1 overall prospect in 2015. #10 overall prospect entering 2019. Gold Glove a few years ago. Here comes the first pitch from Gausman. Rodgers goes after it and hits it out into left field all the way out to the warning track. Right by the warning track. Man, he gave it a ride, but he got too far underneath it. Rodgers played around with the Crawford boxes there, but he flies out for the first out. Man, that would have been nice. That would have really, really helped Rodgers to get himself a solo home run in this game. That brings up DeCenzo. DeCenzo batting just 133 right now, but he hasn't had a tremendous amount of playing time. Takes that one inside. 94 mile per hour fastball for strike one. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Good take, low, 87 miles per hour on that splitter. 1-1 is the count. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Inside, 95 mile per hour fastball, swing and a miss. Strike two. DeCenzo calls timeout. One and two. Here's the pitch. Low and outside. Count is even, 2-2. Two balls, two strikes. Here's the pitch. Another one low. Gausman missing again. That's a full count on DeCenzo. Good at bat so far. Here's the 40th pitch from Gausman, and he draws a walk. DeCenzo is going to be on first base. Good at bat by DeCenzo, getting the full count and then drawing the walk. Gausman threw a bunch outside and low. Now he's got Jose Altuve at the plate, my personal hero. One walk for Altuve today. Here's the first pitch. He goes after it and fouls it back. 94 in the top of the zone. 0-1. Altuve was just taking pitches like crazy his last at bat. It was literally ball, strike, ball, strike, ball, ball. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Altuve. Nope. Gausman goes over to first base. DeCenzo is back. He almost picked him off. That was really close. Jacinto is 6'6". Man, I didn't realize he was that big. 4 inches taller than me. Here's the 0-1 to Altuve. In the dirt, and it gets away from the catcher, but he's able to keep it in front of him. That thing bounced so far in front of the plate. At least a foot in front of the plate. Man, that was more than 2 feet in front of the plate. That was a terrible pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Altuve. Oh, low and inside, 89 mile per hour splitter, swing and a miss. Altuve went after it with a big cut, but wasn't able to get the bat on it. Kind of strange for Altuve not to be able to at least get a piece of that one. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. This is grounded to third, just barely foul. Man, it got by the third baseman, but it was just barely foul. DeCenzo back to first base. The count will remain 1-2. Is there not a whole lot of interest in this game today? I wonder why. Some of the games very popular, some of them not. This pitch is fouled off. 96 mile per hour pitch. Backing into the stands. The count remains 1-2. Altuve looking for a hit. Yordan Alvarez on deck. Here comes pitch. Little low and outside. Just barely missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Man, that could have gone either way. That was close. Here comes the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Low and inside. Jose Altuve. Out number 2 with that strikeout. Sad. Alvarez steps into the box. He'll have the opportunity to do something here. DeCenzo on first base. Yordan lined out opposite field his last at bat. Here's the first pitch from Gausman. It's low and away. Ball 1. Gausman, the right-hander, against Yordan, the left-hander. Here's the pitch. Low. Can't tell if Gausman's losing a little bit of his control or he just doesn't want to pitch in the zone to Alvarez. But the count is 2-0, and the 50th pitch of the game is coming up for Gausman in just a moment. Here it is. Aw, why didn't you let that one go? 88 miles an hour, basically in the dirt, a swing and a miss by Alvarez. Kirk throws it over to first base to try to pick off DeCenzo, but he gets back no problem. Pitcher wants a new ball. 2 balls, 1 strike to Alvarez. Here's the pitch. Just a little inside, ball 3. Gausman comes set. Here comes the delivery. Swing and a miss. 88 miles an hour on the outside edge, and that'll be another full count. Crowd's cheering a little bit. They're wanting some action. Let's see if we get any. 3-2. Here's the pitch. Yordan goes after a garbage pitch almost in the dirt again. Yordan continues to look like garbage. I feel sorry for whatever's going on in Jordan's head, because he is just not looking good right now. His batting average is an even 200 after that at bat. A line out, strikeout today, swinging on bad pitches. Well, you could say they're good pitches because for the pitcher they're good pitches, but they're almost in the dirt. Could have had a walk there, at least. That's better than striking out. But in the DH spot, that's the main position that Jordan plays, is DH. If he's going to be their big guy, their big hitter, then he needs to be hitting like it. And I asked in the game yesterday, at what point do we start to worry about somebody like Jordan Alvarez? Because the feeling so far has just been, it's Jordan, he'll work it out and it'll be okay. But seriously though, at what point do you start asking the question, is Jordan okay? What's going on with Jordan Alvarez? Because all of the players that are supposed to be doing well, basically all of the big names, they're doing well. They're doing what they were expected to do. And Jordan is not. Even some of the lesser players that were traded and got a little more money than they really deserved, they've been earning that money. They've been really doing well. But Jordan just hasn't been there. And it just makes you wonder. It makes you wonder. But we're going into the top of the fourth, guys. One hit for each team, goose eggs for both teams. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. comes to the plate. Hunter Brown's first pitch to him is low and outside for ball one. One and 0. Here comes a pitch from Brown. It's his 40th of the game. That's inside, but fouled down the third base line. Strike one. 1-1. Here comes the delivery from Brown, the 1-1 pitch. That's grounded nice and slow to Brendan Rodgers, who fires over to first. Out number one. Easy peasy. George Springer comes to the plate. He has the only hit against the Astros today, his single in the first. Here comes the pitch. I'm sorry, this is Anthony Santander. George Springer is on deck. Ball one to Santander. He takes that one. Here's the pitch to Santander. Right there on the inside edge. Strike one. Beautiful pitch. 93-mile-per-hour curve. Here comes the pitch. Ooh, that was close. Low and outside. Clipped the edge. Clipped that corner. But called a ball. 2-1. Here comes a 2-1 from Brown. Wow. In the low part of the zone, 2 strikes in a row, call a ball by the umpire. Low on the outside corner, called a ball. 99-mile-per-hour fastball in the bottom of the zone, called a ball. 3-1 is the count. He throws this one in the low part of the zone, and he gets a really high fly ball. Pena's over. He calls for it. Paredes lets him have it. 2 away. So he doesn't get the strikeout like he should have had, but he gets the fly out. Out number 2. It's pretty funny hearing the commentators say, "Oh, come on," because they know it's a strike. Now George Springer is up. He's got the only hit against the Astros today. Here's the first pitch to him. Swing and a miss. 98 miles an hour, up and in. Good pitch. Here comes the 0-1. Knuckle curve just misses low and away. Ball 1, and the count is even. Here's the 1-1. Cutter misses way outside and low. 2 balls, 1 strike. Hunter Brown shakes off a few different calls from Diaz. He shakes off like 5. He finally gets what he wants. Here it comes. 90 miles an hour, misses low, and that's ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike. Good at bat by Springer, taking those pitches out of the zone. Here comes the 3-1. Swing and a miss. He went after that cutter. That was also low. Full count. Two outs. Full count against George Springer. Here's a pitch from Brown. Fouls it back. 97 right in the top of the zone. Springer batting .355 for the season right now, having a great year so far. .988 OPS. Here's the 3-2 pitch. High fastball, but he missed it. It was way high. Springer takes it for ball 4. Springer wins the battle twice with Brown, a single and a walk. Andre Jimenez comes to the plate. He's 0 for 1 today with a strikeout. Here's the first pitch from Brown. This one's hit up the middle. Line drive caught by Jeremy Pena. Pena jokes around and tags Springer, but that's already out, number 3. 1 pitch to Jimenez. Hard hit straight to Pena. And we are out of the inning. So a hard-fought walk earned by George Springer. Hunter Brown still trying to get the best of him. But we go into the bottom of the 4th. This game's still tied 0-0. Man, do I really only have 4 people watching? 5? Wow. Well, the 5 that are listening in or watching, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I don't know how I got to 9 likes since the view count has not been high today. But I do want to say, for those of you who are following along, several of you, I can see in the chat, you've been consistently coming back to my live streams, and I really do appreciate that. It takes a while to build a channel like this, and it takes a lot of time, because these games, there's so many games throughout the year, and I really have to commit to setting my schedule. And sometimes the games for me, I'm in Japan, so sometimes the games for me are no problem. Like today, this game started a little after 9 o'clock in the morning, and that's no problem. I'm able to do most of the things that I need to do in the afternoon and in the evening, and then I can sleep and get up and do the game. It's all good. But sometimes the games are like 2 or 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. Those games are difficult. 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning games. Those are the afternoon games in the U.S. And basically I have to try to get to bed early so that I can get, if possible, 4 or 5 hours of sleep, call the game, and then go back to sleep. But because of my health, I changed my visa. I changed my visa to a visa that allows me to be in Japan, live in Japan, continue to be here and live in my house and live my life here and all that kind of thing, but it doesn't allow me to work. But I can keep doing YouTube, so here I am. Paredes is at the plate facing Gosman again. First pitch is in there, 81 mile per hour slider for strike one. So anyway, I said all that just to say I thank you guys for being here and supporting the channel. It really does help me out. The more the channel grows, the more it will help me. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Paredes. It's in the dirt. Ball one. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Grounded to third on a one-hopper. Two-hop maybe. No problem for Clement. He grabs it and fires over to first. That'll be out number one. Paredes is 0 for 2 today with that ground out. Jeremy Pena comes to the plate with the Astros' only hit so far today. He's 1 for 1 with a single line drive right up the middle. Here's the first pitch to Pena. Ooh, low and inside, but right in that corner. Strike one, 95 miles an hour. Come on, Pena. Come on, Flash. Here's the 0-1. This one's hit to left field. Should be playable. Bo Bichette is able to float out and get it from shortstop position. Out number two. Mr. Baseball, Jake Myers comes to the plate. He fought a little bit that last at bat, but wound up striking out. Let's see if he can do something different here. A little half swing on a bad pitch. Dirty pitch. In the dirt. Strike one. Christian Walker getting a break today. DeCenzo at first base. That pitch is just a little low, ball one. 96 miles an hour, less than 2 inches below the zone. Gosman is about to deliver his 60th pitch of the game. Here it is. Myers fouls it off. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jake Myers waits for a moment and then calls a timeout. He wants to do a little slow-mo practice swing. One ball, 2 strikes with 2 outs, no runners on here in the bottom of the fourth. Here's the pitch to Myers. He fouls that one off. 96 miles an hour. He's just fouling them back. We'll have another 1-2 pitch here in just a moment. And it's on the way. Myers takes that on the inside corner and he strikes out again. That's also 5 strikeouts for Gosman. He and Brown both have 5 strikeouts now. Unfortunately, Myers doesn't dig down deep enough to get anything done. 1 hit for both teams. No errors, no runs. Very exciting game right now, folks. It's yet another pitcher's duel. Man, if the Astros were just hitting decently well, that would be so awesome. They would be just destroying teams because most of the time their pitching is getting the job done. But I had an actual idea about doing some research and making a video pertaining to how the Astros could potentially be playing this year. What their record could actually look like. I was thinking about feeding all of the main Astros batting lineup numbers into a program kind of like ChatGPT. It's able to get a lot of stats and go through them and do a lot of work on these statistics. I'd like to kind of know if you took the main Astros lineup and you looked at their average stats over the last 5 years, and I realize that some of the players like Cam Smith and Yainer Diaz, some of these guys, they don't have 5 years worth of stats, but overall, if you just took the average performance of all these players and then you use that to create an idea of what they should be doing at the plate this year, I'd like to know how different it looks compared to the way they're actually doing right now. Does that make sense? So, of course, everybody has expectations and hopes and fears and things like that. But when you actually look at the averages, for example, if you take one player who had a phenomenal year 5 years ago, and 4 years ago he did okay, and then 3 years ago he did not so good, and then 2 years ago he did pretty well, and then last year he did okay. What can you expect this year? Well, you just add up all of his figures. You could say the average of that's what we could expect, right? Reasonable expectation. I'd like to compare those expectations to the reality right now. Hunter Brown gets a strike right there. He's facing Alejandro Kirk. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Low and outside for ball one, and that evens the count. I think that the Astros, I guess you could say their record would be better if they were just playing their averages right now. Low and outside again, ball two. That's why I'm not really worried about the Astros season. First of all, it's better than last season already. Number two, the pitching staff is solid. Number three, their batting isn't overall, it's below average. So all they have to do is be at their average. And I don't mean average hitting, I mean their average. Fouled away for strike two, and the count is even, 2-2. Here comes the pitch. Fouled off again down the first base side on that 97-mile-per-hour sinker. Two balls, two strikes. Here comes the 60th pitch for Brown. This one's hit out to right field. Smith is all the way over the warning track and gets it on the run. Man, that was just a few feet from the wall. Very close to being an opposite field home run for Kirk. The deepest struck ball so far on Hunter Brown. But it turns into an out. Here comes the pitch to Ernie Clement. He hits that one straight up. Paredes comes in. He's going to take it, and he's got it. One pitch to Clement, and that'll be out number two. Easy peasy. 2 up and 2 down. Alan Rodin comes to the plate. Here comes the first pitch to Rodin. A little low on the changeup. 89 miles an hour, ball one. Here's the 1-0 delivery. Fouled away. 94-mile-per-hour fastball there. Or a cutter, rather. 1-1. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Rodin checks his swing there, low and inside. Ball two. Two balls, one strike. Here's the pitch. fouled off at the plate. That one bounced off of Yiner. Yiner gets up and runs around a little bit. He's walking it off. Yeah, it's off his inner thigh. Two balls, two strikes, two outs. Nobody on. Here in the top of the fifth, Brown gets the signal. Here comes the pitch. In the dirt. Full count. He might just be going with the fastball here and try to get the strikeout. That changeup was way off. Here comes the pitch. Hit foul down the third baseline. That one was actually outside. Could have been ball 4. Rodin went after it. We'll have another full count pitch here in just a moment. Here comes the 3-2. Right on the inside. 98 miles an hour. Blew it by him. He let it go, and he paid for it. 6 strikeouts now for Hunter Brown. I was thinking that he was going to try to blow one by him, and he did, just inside. That was a perfect pitch. Right inside that inside corner. Perfect pitch. Man, that was beautiful. We go to the bottom of the fifth. Hunter Brown has 5 more scoreless innings, guys. 5 more scoreless innings. He's leading all of Major League Baseball right now with number of scoreless innings, consecutive scoreless innings, an active streak. Pretty amazing stuff. Witnessing a really good pitcher. I know some people are saying, and they have been saying for a while, he's like the next Verlander or the mini Verlander or something like that, but I don't see that. I mean, I know that he was kind of helped out and guided a little. This coffee smells so good. I absolutely know that Hunter Brown benefited by spending some time with Verlander, but Hunter Brown has his own style. He doesn't copy Verlander. He doesn't throw exactly like Verlander did. I wasn't completely sold in the beginning when Hunter Brown first started because he had some shaky starts. Some people were saying at the time, you know, he's the next Verlander, or he's going to be an ace. He's going to be this, he's going to be that. I'm like, you can talk about people all you want. You can, when new pitchers come in, you can say whatever you want. You can have high expectations. That's fine. But it's difficult to know. You can't know that until they actually have a body of work to look at. All right, Yainer Diaz is at the plate already. He takes that first pitch for ball 1. He grounded out to third his last at bat. Gausman is still on the mound. His 65th pitch of the game on the way. Half swing. Completely fooled Yainer. Counts 1-1. One ball, one strike. Come on, Yainer, do something, man. You need to do something. You're the catcher of the future for the Astros. He fouls that one away. Ball 1, strike 2. Why does this cup of coffee look so weak? Here's the 1-2 pitch in the dirt for ball 2. No outs, no runners on here in the bottom of the 5th. Just 1 hit for each team, no runs. Astros trying to make Gausman blink first. Here's the 2-2 to Yiner. Ooh, strike 3. He took that one right in the bottom of the zone. Got to swing at that one, Mr. Diaz. Diaz 0 for 2 today. The ground out and a strikeout. I like that picture of Brian King that they have on the screen right now. Really pumped up. Maybe I should have heated up the water. Maybe that's why. Cam Smith is at the plate. He struck out his last at bat. He hits us in opposite field. The very first pitch, a single to the right fielder. Cam Smith comes through with a 1-out single. We got ourselves a base runner in the second hit of the game for the Astros. Very first pitch. There we go. Good job, Cam Smith. Brendan Rodgers comes to the plate. Inside and low, but right in the zone. 85 mile per hour, four-seam fastball. Strike 1. Rodgers had a really big breakout game a while back, and he was doing pretty good, but since then he's just been kind of meh. He hits that one out to right field. Is it going to drop? They're trying to get over there. It's going to drop in. That's a single. Cam Smith is able to get to second before the throw comes in. Brendan Rodgers with a bloop single to right field. Now we have runners on first and second with 1 out. Man. The second baseman and the right fielder ran over there as fast as they could, and then they tried to pick it up and fire to second, but Cam Smith played it really well. He got about halfway between first and second, and as soon as he saw that the ball was coming down, he cruised to second. And now the Astros have runners on first and second. The crowd is really loud now. They're getting pretty happy. 6'6" Zach DeCenzo comes to the plate. Here's the first pitch. Right in the low part of the zone for strike 1. 83 mile per hour slider. And the crowd completely shuts up with 1 pitch. All right. 0-1. Here's the count. Here's the pitch from Gausman. Low. 89 mile per hour splitter. The count is even, 1-1. One ball, one strike to DeCenzo. Runners on first and second. Here's the pitch. This is hit hard to right field. It's going all the way to the wall. It's over. Oh, it's off the wall. But Cam Smith will score for sure. RBI double for Zach DeCenzo off the wall in right field. He was just shy of a home run. Astros get on the board first with the third hit of the game. 3 opposite field hits in a row for the Astros. Cam Smith with a single. Brendan Rodgers with a single. And then DeCenzo with a double. Drives in Cam Smith. The Astros are on the board. That was a hard hit line drive. And that brings up my hero, Jose Altuve. Altuve with runners on second and third with 1 out. Crowd is much louder right now. They're getting much more excited now that there's some action going on. Come on, Altuve. Let's keep it going. Come on, man. Big inning. Here's the pitch. Altuve goes to the Crawford boxes. It's off the wall. It's way off the wall. It's going over to the left side. It's going to score both runs. Altuve's going to have himself a double. There's my man. My hero, Jose Altuve, comes through again. Astros up 3-0. 89 mile per hour splitter, low and in the inside of the portion of the plate. And when he hits it right off the wall, I thought it was gone there for a second. But when it hit the Crawford box wall, it bounced off to the side. It didn't come straight off. It bounced to the left and into the corner. Roden couldn't play it cleanly off the wall. Altuve on second. Yordan Alvarez at the plate with one out, guys. This isn't over yet. They're going to intentionally walk Yordan Alvarez to first. The crowd is booing. But you know, actually, yeah, they're saying they don't mind the walk. I don't mind it either. Yordan hasn't been hitting the ball well. Why not just walk him? Pitching coach is going to take a little jog out to the mound and have a little chit-chat with Gausman. 5 hits now for the Astros. That's my man right there. Jose Altuve. 2 RBI double off the Crawford box wall. That's my man. This is going to have to be the weakest fresh cup of coffee I've ever had because the water wasn't hot enough. It's all good. Isaac Paredes comes to the plate with 1 out, runners on first and second. 10 people following along right now in the game. Thank you so much for being here. Here comes the first pitch to Isaac the ball Paredes. This is hit hard to left field. Holy cow, that was deep. All the way into the upper deck, but foul by about 15 yards. That was gone. The very first pitch, it was gone, but it was foul. That would have been a 3-run shot. Would have broke this game open. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Paredes in just a moment. Here's the pitch. Little low, but he calls it a strike. Are you kidding me? Man, that was a little low and outside. Man. Umpire's being a little inconsistent right now. Not calling those for strikes and then now calling them for strikes. But it's 0-2 against Paredes. Runners on first and second. Come on, man. Come on. Put it in the Crawford boxes. Let's do it. Here comes a pitch. This is grounded right side. It's going to score another run. Altuve is going to be around third. They're waving him around. The throw comes in. They cut it off. Yordan has to stay at second base, but Altuve's speed gets him home. Paredes with the opposite field hit the Astros 4-0. Heck yes. Yordan not able to get to third, but that's not surprising. Paredes just fighting that pitch off, a high fastball, and goes opposite field. Right between the first baseman and the second baseman. Altuve never stopped. He scored easily. Even if that throw had not been cut off, it wouldn't have been there in time. Jeremy Pena comes to the plate with runners on first and second. He goes after the first pitch in the dirt. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. 1 out. Still just 1 out. Runners on first and second. And the Blue Jays have a couple of guys warming up in the bullpen. Gausman is now up to his 80th pitch with this delivery. Here comes the next pitch to Pena. Pena takes that one low for ball 1. It's 1-1. What an inning, guys. This is what I like to see. The Astros are blowing it up now. Come on, Pena. Seal this game away, man. One swing of the bat. Mr. Baseball is due up next, Jake Myers. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to Pena. That one's in the dirt, blocked by the catcher. 2 balls, 1 strike. Gausman looking a little rattled right now. I can't blame him. Sorry about that. Man. Here comes the pitch. Pena goes to the left side. It's going to be maybe a double play ball, and it is. Wow, Pena is really upset about that. He ripped it. Pena ripped it right to the third baseman. He picked it up, and he was able to fire to second and then on to first to get that double play. He just hit it way too hard. But the Astros come away with 4. 4-0 Astros. And that's the end of the 5th. Big inning for the Stros. Finally, the bats come alive, giving Hunter Brown some run support. Gausman was the first to blink. Hunter Brown and Gausman, a little bit of a pitcher's duel through 4 innings, 4.5 innings. It was 1 hit each, no runs. But then in the bottom of the 5th, Gausman started to fall apart. The Astros tagged him for 4 runs, guys, including an RBI double by my man Jose Altuve. Absolutely loving it. This is better than McDonald's. I love me some Altuve. Unfortunately, Pena, he ripped that ball so hard, he just didn't get underneath it. Man, if he had gotten a single there, he would have had bases loaded for Mr. Baseball, Jake Myers himself. That would have been awesome. Top of the 6th. Who's coming up for the Blue Jays? Hunter Brown is sitting on 68 pitches so far this game. His ERA overall is 1.24 this season. He's lights out so far this game. He's going to be facing Miles Straw, 0-for-1 today. Bo Bichette on deck, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I love those highlights of Jake Myers making these great catches in the outfield. I want to see Myers have a batting average over 300 at the end of this season. I really do. More than anything. Man, I just freaking love Myers. Altuve's my guy. He always will be, but Myers is just doing so well right now. It's just awesome to see him doing well at the plate. Strike 1, 90-mile-per-hour slider to Miles Straw. Hunter Brown gets ahead in the count. Whew, that was a good inning. Next pitch is in there. Strike 2. Low and inside. 95-mile-per-hour sinker. 0-2. Swing and a miss. I'm calling it right here for strike 3. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Straw. It's right in there. He doesn't swing, but he gets the strikeout. 3 straight pitches. Looking. Strike, strike, strike. 6 strikeouts now for Hunter Brown. Out number 1. Straw goes down quietly into the night. Boom, right in the middle of the plate, 97 miles an hour. Wow. Bo Bichette is at the plate. Here's the first pitch. Just a little low and inside. That one was right on the edge of the corner. Right on the corner. Ball 1. Hunter Brown moving pretty quickly right now. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one's hit hard to left field, and Altuve can't get it. He's going to have to back up and play it on a hop. That's going to be a single. He came in at first. Runner on first with that hit. Yeah, Altuve was going to try to come in and get it, but then he backed up. He realized that it was curving down. He was talking to Myers about it, and he was showing him with his hand that the ball just dropped. Runner on first. Not sure what's going on with Vladimir there. He stood there. He had no intention of swinging. That's strike 1. Runner on first with 1 out. He's way off the plate, too. Why is he so far off the plate? Here comes the next pitch. Low and inside, ball 1. If I were Hunter Brown, I'd go on that outside edge. Vladimir is way outside. He's way off the plate. Why is he so far away from the plate? 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. 1 runner on. Here's the pitch. Way up and inside. Almost hit him. 2 balls, 1 strike. Brown comes set. Here's the delivery to Guerrero. Right in there, right in the bottom of the zone. 88-mile-per-hour changeup, and that's going to even the count, 2-2. Man. Hunter Brown wearing number 58, is that right? Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fouled off. Count remains 2-2. Yeah, he's wearing 58. If I were just made of money, I think it would be really cool to have all of the active Astros jerseys. And the reason, because I think it would be kind of cool to do something kind of interesting, like hang up the jerseys for the players that are playing that day, and whenever they have a pinch hitter or a guy swap out the jerseys. That'd be kind of funny to do. But just one jersey is so expensive. Can you imagine having 20 or more jerseys? Little throw to first base, but the runner's back, no problem. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Guerrero Jr. Here comes the pitch from Brown. Ooh, how did he miss that on the outside edge? Just right there. So close. Ball 3. Man, a check swing by Guerrero. I don't know how he didn't swing at that. It was a good pitch by Brown, though, because Guerrero is so far off the plate. If he had just gotten a little bit of that plate, that would have been strike 3. 3-2 is the count. Here comes the 80th pitch from Brown. That's hit to Paredes. Paredes gets it at third, goes to second, gets the out. Do they get the double? Yes, they do. Oh, my God, what a play. Paredes dives to get that, throws from his knees to second base. Pena fires over to first. Paredes goes to his left, falls down to get the ball from his knees, throws to Rogers. Rogers fires over to first, gets the double play, and we get the big fist pump from Hunter Brown. Heck yes. That was Rogers covering second, not Pena. Rogers with the perfect transfer. Man, the Astros are looking like World Series contenders right now on both ends of the ball. Pitching is elite. Defending is elite. And this hitting now is elite. The Astros with a big 4-run inning. We're going to go into the bottom of the 6th. The Astros have the opportunity to pile on some runs. Man, what a game. Keep this game locked down. Keep scoring runs. Keep the Blue Jays on their heels. This is the kind of Astros team that I expected to see this year. I don't know about you guys, but as for me, we've had so many changes on this team. You know, we had Tucker get traded away. We had a few guys come in for him. We lost Bregman. I had mixed feelings about that because Bregman did play for LSU, and I like LSU. And of course, Bregman was a big part of the team for a long time. He was part of a core of guys that were really important for the Stros. And I liked him at third base. I also have a special place in my heart for third base because when I started T-ball as a kid, that's where I started. My first 2 teams, I played third base. And then my arm was better suited for second, so I moved over there and spent the rest of my baseball career, if you want to call it that, playing second base. So Altuve being a second baseman and Alex Bregman being a third baseman, these guys meant a lot to me. Gausman is actually back on the mound, and he's facing Jake Myers. That first pitch is in the dirt for ball 1. But their bullpen is going. Here's the pitch to Myers. Myers takes that low and inside for strike 1. 85-mile-per-hour pitch. Josh Walker is warming up in the bullpen for the Blue Jays. 1 ball, 1 strike to Jake Myers. Here's the pitch. Little low. 88 miles an hour on that splitter. 2-1. But anyway, we had some guys that we lost, and we had a bunch of new guys come in, and now the lineup, it looks totally different than last year, right? Low and outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. I'm really liking this new version of Myers that I'm seeing this year. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. Fastball right in the middle of the plate, fouled away by Myers. He fights it off. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So to be honest, I wasn't really sure what to think about how the Astros were going to do, because I wasn't really familiar with a lot of these guys. Rogers coming in. We got the new Cam Smith in. Paredes coming in. Walker. We have all these guys coming in I'm not really familiar with. That's hit up the middle off the glove of the pitcher, but he's able to grab it and lob it over to first. So Myers will ground out. Good play by the pitcher to knock that down and lob it over to first to get Myers. 1 up and 1 down. Yainer Diaz comes to the plate. But anyway, what I was saying is that as I'm starting to get used to these guys that the Astros have now and their strengths and weaknesses and what they usually do, I'm feeling that they have a lot of talent here. Yainer fouls the first pitch back for strike 1. 96 mile per hour fastball. We just have a couple of our main guys just not getting it done. Alvarez and Diaz in particular. Here's the pitch. This one's hit to right center field all the way back, right by the warning track, and it's put away. He gave it a ride, but it's out number 2. Two away. Gausman up to 90 pitches, and now he's facing Cam Smith, who's 1 for 2. He had a single his last at bat. He started the big inning last inning. 88 miles an hour in the lower part of the zone. Strike 1. He really got things going. Here's the pitch. In the dirt. Little check swing. Ball 1. One ball, 1 strike. 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Smith. The low and outside. Ball 2. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Gausman. Woo, man. A little outside, but the umpire liked it, so that will be strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here comes the delivery. A little low. Good take by Smith. .95 pitches now for Gausman. This is definitely going to be his last inning. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. This is hit, broken bat to the shortstop. Should be an easy play, and it is. It gets him by 2 steps. Out number 3. So Gausman comes back after that blow up last inning, and he gets through this one. 1, 2, 3. We go into the top of the 7th. Astros up 4-0. 6 hits for the Stros. 2 hits for the Blue Jays. 4-0 is the score. Astros winning at home here in Daikin Park. Anything going on in the live chat? It's been oddly kind of quiet, but I appreciate everyone listening in. Some people aren't actually able to easily chat or interact in the live chat because they're listening or doing something else, and I understand that. For those of you who are at work today, I salute you. If you're listening in while you're working on something, or with your family, or wherever you're at, or whatever you're doing, I appreciate you being here. Got 12 likes on the video, about 8 shy from my target. I'd love to beat yesterday. Yesterday was 21. But right now my target is 20. It takes time to build my channel back up. Last year I was getting up to around 2,000 views per video. I think the video yesterday got up to about 350, not quite 400, so it's starting to climb up a little bit. But it takes time. If I can get my channel up to 1,000 subs and consistently be getting a few thousand views per video, then I can get some sponsorships. And I could really focus in on making this a full-time thing, and then I can do some productions for the off season. That would be the ideal, but we'll see. Hunter Brown's back on the mound. He's facing Anthony Santander, who's 0 for 2 today. First pitch is 96 right in the gut of the plate. Foul out and a fly out for Santander. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Let's make that 0-2. Swing and a foul tip. 96 mile per hour fastball. 0-2. Oh yeah, that's right. They mentioned something that I didn't realize. Hunter Brown has not gone 7 innings yet this year. This could be his first time to do that. We'll see. Here's the 0-2 pitch from Brown. His 83rd of the game. High. That missed by more than a foot. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I'd love to see him get through 7 scoreless. That'd be great. Set it up for their relievers. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. He gets the strikeout. Strikeout number 7 for Hunter Brown. Santander gets sat down. He gets himself sat down. I get sat down. I strike out again. Next time I'm going to strike out again. I get sat down. Pretty ridiculous. George Springer comes to the plate 1 for 1 today with a walk and a single. 96 just inside, ball 1. Hunter Brown and George Springer battling with each other. Just a little inside, ball 2, 2-0. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Ooh, man, that was just barely below the zone. Springer didn't like it. I understand. That was not a strike, to be honest. Umpire has been pretty inconsistent with those pitches, either just below the zone or just outside. 2-1. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Woo! That was a beautiful slider, swing and miss by Springer. Now it's 2-2, and you could hear him on the screen. You could hear him in the game through the mic. He said a really bad word. As soon as he swung, he said a really bad word. Here's the 2-2 pitch in the dirt, ball 3. Full count. '89 pitches. This is the 90th pitch of the game for Hunter Brown. 3-2 count against George Springer. 1 out, nobody on. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. He strikes him out. Hunter Brown finally wins the battle against George Springer. Springer got a single, a walk. Was threatening to get another one right there, but Hunter Brown picks up his 8th strikeout. Finally sits Springer down. Maybe that will be Springer's last at-bat of this game. We'll see. Here comes the next pitch. It's to Jimenez, Andre Jimenez, right in there on the inside corner. Knuckle curve, 84 miles an hour. Strike 1. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Just a little outside, 98 miles an hour. Ball 1. That was close. Less than 2 inches outside the zone. 0 for 2 is Jimenez with a line out and a foul out. Low and outside, ball 2. change up, 89. Hunter Brown walks off the mound and walks right back up on there. That reminds me of Framber Valdez when he wants to take a break, but he has to go right back up on the mound to deliver the pitch. That's a good pitch, right in the bottom of the zone. Beautiful. 89-mile-per-hour changeup. The count is 2-2. Batter calls timeout. Hunter Brown walks off the mound, listening to his pitch comm. Okay, sounds like he can hear Yiner now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here comes the pitch. Fouled back, 99 miles an hour. Woof. Looks like Brian Abreu is warming up in the bullpen. Here comes the 2-2 pitch again from Hunter Brown to Andre Jimenez. This one's grounded to short. Jeremy Pena scoops it up, fires a first, and gets the out. 7 shutout innings for Hunter Brown with 2-hit baseball. The crowd stands. The crowd stands up and cheers for Hunter Brown, giving him a standing ovation as he comes off the field. That's going to be it for him tonight. 7 innings shutout for Hunter Brown. Brian Abreu will undoubtedly be up on the mound for the Astros in the 8th inning. But we go into the bottom of the 7th. Astros up 4-0 over the Blue Jays. What a game so far. I'm so glad to see Hunter Brown finally get that strikeout victory against George Springer. He was really giving him a battle from the beginning of the game with the single and then the walk. Finally gets the strikeout. Good stuff right there. Good baseball. Pretty sure that the Blue Jays are going to have a different pitcher, but who's it going to be? We'll see. Brendan Rodgers is due up. 1 for 2 today with a single. A bloop single to right field. Followed by Zach DeCenzo. DeCenzo with an RBI double. His last at bat. And then my hero, Jose Altuve, with a 2 RBI double. His last at bat. Let's see here. Let's see if we've got an update on the pitcher. Walker. Josh Walker. Josh Walker, Blue Jays. Okay, I've got his picture downloaded. I'll update that on the screen for you guys. First pitch is on the way from Walker. Brendan Rodgers takes that up and out for ball 1. Josh Walker. Next pitch on the way to Rodgers. That's called a strike. 1-1. All right, here comes a 1-1 pitch. High, 94-mile-per-hour fastball, but swing and a miss by Brendan Rodgers. One ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. Little high and inside. Close. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. That one was in the dirt, but Rodgers went after it. Swing and a miss for strike 3. 1 away. Zach DeCenzo comes to the plate. No runners on and 1 out. Here comes the pitch. High, ball one. One walk and one double for DeCenzo today. Having a good performance despite not being in too many games. Here comes the 1-0 pitch from Walker. Low and inside. Ball two. Walker, a thin, lanky guy. Oh, it looks like Forrest Whitley and Abreu are out in the bullpen. DeCenzo rips that one out to left field all the way to the wall. Is he going to have himself another double? He's going for it. Is he going to get there in time? He's in. He's sliding in. They say he's safe. Holy cow. They're wanting to look at that. But as it stands right now, DeCenzo has another double. He rips it off the wall left field. Blue Jays are trying to decide if they want to challenge it or not. Man. Let's see. They've got the close-up going on right here. Yeah, he was safe. He was there. The ball was there in time, but the tag did not get on him in time. And it looks like they're not going to challenge it. He's going to stay on second, so Altuve comes to the plate with one out and runner on second. Heck yes. Here comes the pitch. Altuve goes after and rips it down the line. Ooh, that was close. Strike one, but man, he just scorched that ball. DeCenzo with two doubles today, guys. Two doubles off the wall. Let's see if Altuve can get his second double of the game. Here comes the pitch. Way high, ball one. Good take by Altuve. Man. Maybe DeCenzo's trying to fight for a spot on this lineup. Can't blame him. He ripped that ball. Here's a 1-1 pitch to Altuve. Altuve skies it back. Is it going to be playable? Looks like it is. The third baseman is over and he gets it in foul territory. Oh, man. Altuve fouls out. Out number two. That brings up Yordan. Are they going to pitch to him? They probably will. They intentionally walked Yordan his last at bat. He hasn't done anything this game otherwise. Let's see if he does something here. He's got a runner in scoring position. Here comes the pitch. Yordan smokes it to right field, and it's going to be down. Is this going to score him? DeCenzo's coming in. He's going to slide. Is he safe? Yes, they call him safe. DeCenzo is safe at home. RBI single for Yordan Alvarez. He smoked it to right field. Holy cow, 5-0 Astros. DeCenzo ran his butt off from second. He was off to the races. George Springer just could not get that ball there in time. It was not a bad throw. But man, Kirk was able to actually get the ball and try to put the tag on. He just couldn't get him. What a perfect slide by DeCenzo on the outside. That tag missed by less than an inch. Holy cow, that was close. That was so close. He made the tag but missed DeCenzo by about an inch. Perfect play by DeCenzo. Holy cow. Ball one to Paredes, and he takes that second pitch low for strike one. But I wish I could show this replay to you guys because the tag was actually there. But DeCenzo slid so far outside, he missed it. 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 outs. Yordan on first base. Astros up 5-0. Man, DeCenzo's the man this game. Here comes the pitch. Paredes pops that one up. Is it going to be in play? Looks like it is. First baseman is over, and he's got it. That's out number 3. But the Astros tag on another run. 5-0. 5-0. Love it. We go to the top of the 8th. 5-0 Astros. 8 hits for the Stros now. 2 hits for the Blue Jays. No runs for them. Alejandro Kirk is due up, followed by Ernie Clement and Alan Rodin. If there are no designated hitter, pinch hitting changes, rather. 10 people following along right now. Thank you so much for being here. I've got 13 likes. 13 likes on the video. Video as it is in Japanese. Video. Video. Man, what a game. This is the kind of game I like to see. Astros pitchers locking it down. The bats waking up. Altuve and DeCenzo playing with their pants on fire. Love it. We might not have a Abreu since we're up 5-0. Let's see if we've got the update on who's being in the game for the Astros yet. Forrest Whitley. It's going to be Forrest Whitley, guys. There we go. Season debut right here. Forrest Whitley. First pitch to Alejandro Kirk. Right in there, 97 miles an hour. Strike one. That's the way to start. How old is he? He doesn't look very old. Here's the pitch. That pitch was way in the dirt. Ball one. Curveball. 1-1. One ball, one strike to Kirk. Here's the pitch. Right down the middle. Half swing from Kirk and fouls it off for strike two. 0 for 2 today is Kirk, a fly out and a strikeout. Let's make it 0 for 3. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch from Whitley. This is hit hard to right field. Smith is over and he gets it on the warning track on the run. That's 2 fly balls to right field for Kirk. Both taken care of by Smith. Out number 1. Here comes the first pitch to Ernie Clement. Just a little outside, 85 on that curve. Or what they call a slurve. A slider curve. 0 for 2 today is Clement. Here comes the pitch. Right in there. 96 mile per hour sinker. Strike one. Count is even. One and one. Here's the pitch. This one's hit out to right field. A little blooper. And Cam Smith is able to get over there and get it. Good job. Another catch on the run by Cam Smith. An opposite field hit by Clement. But Cam Smith was played in the right spot to get it. 2 away. Good results so far for Whitley. Alan Rodin comes to the plate. Here's the first pitch from Whitley. He goes after the first one, fouls it off into the crowd for strike one. 0 for 2 today with 2 strikeouts is rode in. 0-1 versus Whitley. Here's it. Here's the pitch. He fouls it just down the first baseline foul. 0-2. 10th pitch coming from Whitley. Opportunity for a strikeout here, actually. That'd be a nice way to end this inning. His first outing with a strikeout. We'll see. Here comes the delivery. Ooh, he almost got him to go on that curveball. It was in the dirt, but it was a wicked curve. He held up. Ball 1. One ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. Wow, he fouled that one off, and that's going to be off of Diaz. He tries to fire to first, but it's not in time. So that was a strikeout. It was a strikeout. He got him to go with that curveball in the dirt, but it bounced off of Diaz and then hit Diaz in the leg and went all the way to the wall. Diaz was not able to get over there in time. Maybe if he had hustled, he would have been able to get it, but we have a runner on first with 2 outs as it stands. But Whitley does get credit for a strikeout. Addison Barger comes to the plate. Pinch hitting. Josh Miller, the pitching coach, is going to come out and have a little talk with Whitley. It looks like Barger is hitting for Straw. Miles Straw has been pulled. Addison Barger batting just .071. Probably not a very large sample size. Barger looks like their pitcher. The starting pitcher for the Jays. First pitch to Barger is on the way from Whitley. Here it comes. Just outside, 97 miles an hour, ball 1. That was close. Not a bad pitch. One and 0 pitch on the way. Another one outside. That one almost a foot off the plate. 2 balls and no strikes. Two balls and no strikes. Runner on first, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 96 low in the zone. Good pitch. Brian Abreu is warming up again in the Astros bullpen. If we see him, I hope it's not until the 9th inning. Here's the 2-1 pitch. This one's fouled off. 97 mile per hour fastball on the outside edge. The count is even, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on first here in the top of the 8th. Forrest Whitley trying to get through his very first outing for the Astros here. Here comes the pitch. Strike 3. Whitley picks up a strikeout for his 3rd and final out of the inning. He gets through that inning without giving up a hit, without giving up a run. Good, solid performance from Forrest Whitley. Good to see that. Really good to see that. All right. We go into the bottom of the 8th. The Astros still have 2 more chances, well, at least 1 more chance to pile on some runs. Increase this lead even more. Put the foot on the gas, I always say. You can never have enough runs. You can never, ever have enough runs in baseball. It's different with a game like football when you don't have much time left, or it's different in basketball when you don't have much time left. There's literally only so much you can do because there's a time limit. But baseball has no time limit. It's just based on innings. As long as you have another inning to bat, you have a chance. It doesn't matter if you're down by 20 or 30 runs. It may sound like it's impossible, but it's always possible in baseball. And that means that even if you've got a lead like the Astros have right now, you still have to keep the pedal down. Keep hitting, keep working hard, keep scoring. Keep this game out of reach. As it stands right now, no errors for either team. 8 hits for the Astros, 2 for the Jays. For the first time this year, Hunter Brown goes 7 full innings and complete shutout with just 2 hits. Forrest Whitley comes in the 8th, has his first appearance for the Stros. Has another shutout inning. Astros are shutting out the Blue Jays 5-0. Jeremy Pena is at the plate facing Josh Walker. Way high. Ball 1. Pena 1 for 3 today with a single and a stolen base. He's got a long hitting streak going right now. Let's see if he can get another hit here. Up and outside. Ball 2. If Pena gets on here, you can bet he's going to be trying to steal. Be a little aggressive. Here's the pitch. Woo! Takes that one just inside. Ball 3. Could have been a strike. It was close. 3-0. Here's the pitch. A little high. Ball 4. 4 straight pitches from Josh Walker. And that puts Jeremy Pena on first base. We have a leadoff runner. What do you guys want to bet that Jeremy Pena goes on the very first pitch? Jake Myers comes to the plate. Myers yet to get a hit today. I'm shocked about that. His batting average slipped a little bit. He's down to 290. Here's the pitch. Another ball from Josh Walker. High fastball. 1-0. He comes set. Here's the delivery. Right in the bottom of the zone. That is a strike. 91 miles an hour. 1-1. How about a hit and run? Jake Myers and Pena hit and run. That'd be nice. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Grounded foul. 1-2. Just a trickler over to the third base side. Myers calls timeout. Backs out of the batter's box. It is about 11:15 in the morning here in Japan. Wherever you guys are, I hope you're having a good day or evening. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Myers. Here's the pitch. He fouls that one back. 85-mile-per-hour curveball. Pena was going. It looks like they had the hit and run on. But Pena has to go back. One and two. Once again, here comes the pitch. And a swing and a miss. Myers hasn't done very well at all on the pitches, on these 2-strike pitches. He doesn't have any good results once he gets to 2 strikes. Speaking of strikes, Yander Diaz is at the plate. The very first pitch to him is fouled away. And that'll be strike 1. 1 away. Pena on first base. I'm surprised he hasn't tried to steal again. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Diaz. For some reason, the screen just went to event about to start again. Let me refresh my screen right quick. Sorry about that.
MLB website going crazy again, as it has been recently. Not quite sure why. But apparently it was another strike to Diaz. The count is now 0-2. And the screen is frozen. It's frozen on 0-2. Okay, now it's going again. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Diaz. Grounded to third, and it's going to get through the hole. A single for Diaz. Now we have runners on first and second. His first hit of the day. What do you know? Yainer Diaz with a single. Now we have a couple of runners on. For Cam Smith. Cam Smith comes to the plate with another opportunity for a 3-run home run. He might try to jack it in the Crawford boxes again. How would that be? He'd lead all of the rookies in the league right now if he did that in RBIs. Right on the outside corner. Strike one. 1 out, runners on first and second. 0-1 is the count against Smith. He does have 1 single today. Here comes the pitch. Inside. Oh, it hit him. They got him on the leg. That one bounced off the ground, it looks like. Man, he went hobbling around. Let's take another look at that. Yeah, oh, it got him on the shin. It got him on his back right shin. Ow. Yeah, there was no protection there. It nicked him right below the knee, maybe 2 inches below the knee on his back right leg, on that shin bone. He hobbled around there for a minute. But he's walking to first base. He seems okay, but man. Whew. He's looking all right. Brendan Rodgers comes to the plate facing Josh Walker. Josh Walker now up to his 30th pitch. Bases loaded for Rodgers. That's hit hard to left field. It's going to be all the way out to the wall. Might be a double. We'll see. It's going to score 2 runs at least. Diaz all the way. I'm sorry. Diaz scores. Pena scores. Rodgers to second. Smith to third. Astros 7. Blue Jays 0. Brendan Rodgers just took that curveball and rocketed it out into left field. They weren't playing him all the way over. He put it all the way to the wall, got himself a nice little double. It was a no-doubter, so runners were off and running. Didn't have to wait to see if it was going to be down. It was down for sure. 7-0 with 10 hits the Astros have this game. Pitching coach comes out to have a little discussion with Josh Walker. This is actually Walker's first activation, they say, for the Blue Jays this year. He's not having the outing that Whitley is having. Man, he got punished by Brendan Rodgers. Heck yes, Rodgers batting .250 for the season. Zach DeCenzo, who's been on fire today, he's got 2 doubles with an RBI, and he scored twice. He comes to the plate with runners on second and third with just 1 out. He might tack on some runs here. Here's the pitch. He takes that one low in the zone for strike 1. Yeah. The Astros commentators are saying that Zach DeCenzo has got to be greedy since he's not getting the bats every day. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Woo, he takes that one in there. Strike 2. Curveball, 84 miles an hour, right in the bottom of the zone. Another double, DeCenzo. Drive in 2 more runs, man. Come on, own this game. Here's the pitch. Way high. Ball 1. 1-2. Man, I'm liking this game. I'm liking this game very much. Everybody's getting in on the action. 1 ball, 2 strikes to DeCenzo. Here's the pitch. Little check swing. Did he go around? They say he did. That's going to be strike 3. High fastball. Out number 2. Chas McCormick is going to pinch hit for Altuve. Altuve is going to get a break. They're going to take him out and let him have a rest. They're feeling pretty comfortable being up 7-0. Chas McCormick batting .200 this year through just 15 games played. Takes the first pitch low. Good take. Ball 1. Man, this is another guy I'd like to see get going, man. I'd like to see all of the Astros. All of these guys that have been playing, kind of poorly. I'd like to see them doing at least .250 on their batting average. Swing and a miss, low and inside. On that curveball. 1-1 is the count. McCormick takes a little break. We haven't seen any of the Chasmanian Devil. I haven't heard that nickname in so long. He just hasn't been earning it, right? Last season was a sad season for him, but he's still here. He still has a chance. Here's the pitch. High, ball 2. Good take. 93 miles an hour. More than a foot out of the zone. Yordan Alvarez on deck if they let him bat. We'll see. Here's the pitch. This is hit up the middle. Is it going to get down? No. Looks like Springer's going to get it, no problem. He comes running in and grabs it. That'll be out number 3. So no more runs for the Astros this inning, but they do get 2. How about that? Astros 7, Blue Jays 0. It's a 2-hit shutout going for the Astros, and we move into the top of the 8th. Astros knocking at the door of not only a Game 1 win against the Blue Jays, but an offensive performance and a defensive performance for the books. All around good showing from the Astros today. Nothing to complain about from the Astros, really. Just to give you an idea of what's been going on in the lineup, let's take a look for the Astros. Out of everybody in the lineup, let's see here. Altuve had a hit. Alvarez had a hit. Paredes had a hit. Pena had a hit. Myers, oddly enough, did not have a hit today. Diaz had a hit. Smith had a hit. Rogers had 2 hits. DeCenzo had 2 hits. Everybody in the Astros lineup had a hit except for Myers, and Myers is the one that's been on fire recently. I would not have been able to guess that. 10 hits for the Astros, and only 1 player, DeCenzo, with 2. That's what I like to see. Everybody in the batting order getting hits. Everybody in the batting order. That's good stuff right there. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, some great plays by the Astros, great defensive plays, and phenomenal pitching. Hunter Brown threw 7 innings with shutout ball, 2 hits. Forrest Whitley came in for his first time. No hits, no runs. And it looks like Whitley's going to be back on the mound. Chas McCormick is out in left field. He'll stay in. Bo Bichette is at the plate facing Forrest Whitley. First pitch is way outside and low. Dances to the backstop for ball 1. Gets past Diaz. 1 for 3 is Bichette. He has one of only 2 hits for the Blue Jays. And here's the next pitch from Whitley. That's right in there. Nice slurve. The slider curve from Whitley. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here comes a 1-1 delivery. Swinging a foul ball at the plate that bounces off of Yiner's glove. Strike 2. 3 slurves in a row. A slurve, it sounds like some kind of drink you get, like a slushy or something. What would you like? Some ice cream? A shake? No, I'll have to slurve, please. Grape slurve. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Ooh, just barely missed the zone. A little high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Astros three outs away, guys. Just 3 outs away from putting this one away. Here's the 2-2 pitch. This is hit over to the right side. No problem for Rogers. 1 bounce. Throws over to first. 1 away. I'm going to try to jump ahead a little bit. First pitch is a ball to Vladimir Guerrero. 1-0. Here comes the next pitch. Ooh, right in the top of the zone. That could have been a strike, but called a ball. 2-0. 96 miles an hour. Pretty good pitch right there. That's what you call a strikeout pitch. If you got 2 strikes on a batter, you throw that. That's difficult for them to get. 2-0. Here's the pitch. It's right in there and fouled off. Just barely foul. In the corner. Woo, that was close, right? Just barely foul in that right field corner. That would have been a double. But he just missed it by a couple of feet. Good thing for Whitley and the Astros. 2 balls and 1 strike. To Vladimir. What kind of a name combination is that? Vladimir Guerrero. They don't seem to go very well together. That's like Jorge Smith. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Oh, that's outside. 96 mile per hour sinker, but he misses by about 10 inches. Come on, Whitley. Here comes the delivery. This one's hit hard to left field. He got around on it big time. Guerrero hits one way out into right field the first time. This one way out into left field. He's nailing the ball, but foul. That'll be strike 2. We have ourselves a full count. And the exit velocity on that one was high, they said, like 106. It was nuts. Here comes a full count pitch. This one's grounded straight to Rogers, who scoops it up, no problem. Lobs it over to DeCenzo at first. Out number 2. Six batters faced so far for Whitley and no hits. 1 base runner, no runs. 1 out away from the shutout. That brings up Anthony Santander, who is 0 for 3 today. First pitch is a 96 mile per hour fastball, high, fouled off for strike 1. He couldn't get around on it in time. Here comes the 0-1 pitch from Whitley. Santander lets that one go. That was up and away. 97 mile per hour fastball. Just kind of got away from Whitley a little bit. 1-1 is the count. Whitley is about to deliver his 30th pitch, his second inning pitch for the Astros. His only second inning. Swing and a miss on a dirty curveball. Holy cow, that was in the dirt. Santander went after it. Completely fooled him. His jockstrap is hanging in the rafters right now. He missed that one by almost a foot. I will never stop using that phrase. I still don't understand the meaning. But whenever you just do something like that to make somebody look so bad, that's what we'd always say. His jockstrap is hanging in the rafters. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The crowd is on their feet. Here comes the pitch from Whitley to Santander. He checked up. Did he go? Oh, they say he did not. That was another nasty curveball. He tried to go for it, but he held up. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Nobody on. Diaz and Santander are chatting a little bit about something. Who knows what's going on back there. Whitley trying to get this last out, last strike. Can he get the strikeout to end this inning like he did last inning? Let's see. Here comes the pitch. This is hit hard to center field. Cam Smith is over, Jake Myers, and they run into each other. Smith steps in front of Myers and takes it. They both call for it, but Cam Smith steps in front, and he's a little bit taller than Myers, so he takes the fly ball, and that's it. The Astros win this game in World Series fashion. They looked like champions this game. They absolutely looked great in every single regard. I am so proud of them for this game, guys. No errors, 10 hits, 7 runs scored. Hunter Brown scoreless with a 2-hitter through 7 innings. Forrest Whitley comes in and pitches a solid 8th and 9th inning, gives up no hits, 1 base runner. Astros pitching just all over it today. How do you like that outing from Forrest Whitley and Hunter Brown? How do you like the defense from the Astros? How do you like that hitting from the Astros? 7-0. What a brilliant game today. Absolutely beautiful game. Okay. Man, it is 11:30. This game finished pretty quick. And considering it was 7 runs scored, but the Astros did a ton of damage in 1 inning. And that reminds me, let's take a look right now at the game recap. Let's take a look at this scoring recap. It was all Astros. All Stros. Through 4.5 innings, guys, it was completely scoreless and only a couple of hits on the board. Both pitchers were really locked in, and the hitters were having a difficult time making anything happen. Until the bottom of the 5th. Astros got a single, another single, and then a DeCenzo double to right field, scoring Smith, and then moving Rogers over to third. 1-0 Astros. Jose Altuve came up right after that, and he himself doubled, driving in 2 runs, DeCenzo and Rogers. 3-0 Astros. But it wasn't done there. Paredes came in, singled to right field, scoring Altuve from second base, moving Alvarez to second. 4-0 Astros in the 5th. A 4-run inning in the bottom of the 5th just blew the game open for the Astros. In the 7th, the Astros decided to tack on some insurance runs. Alvarez singled to right field, finally getting himself an RBI and a hit, scoring DeCenzo. 5-0 Astros. And then in the 8th, they got another one. Brendan Rodgers doubled to left, scoring Pena and Diaz. That's 2 doubles. 2 doubles that scored 2 runs. Altuve and Pena. With DeCenzo also having 2 doubles today. The Astros were just hitting the ball. 7-0 in the bottom of the 8th. The Hunter Brown pitching, the Forrest Whitley pitching just locked down the Blue Jays. They couldn't get anything done. Astros win this one 7-0. 9 solid innings on both sides of the ball. Excellent stuff. Can't complain about that whatsoever. On this live stream, how many likes did I come up with today? 15. 5 shy of my goal of 20, but that's all good. I appreciate all of you listening and being here today. If all goes as planned, I will be here for the next 2 games, Game 2 and Game 3 against the Blue Jays. The Astros now are at 500 again, 11 wins and 11 losses. So we get the win tomorrow, we'll finally be above 500, and that's where we want to be. We want to stay there. Still a much better start than last year. We can only go up from here. Like I said earlier, if you look at the averages, if all of the Astros players that we have right now are just playing their average over the past several years, just their average, the Astros will be an unbelievably difficult team to beat. Pitching is solid. The hitting is coming along. It just needs a little time. But imagine this. The hitting has been rather mediocre, and yet the Astros still are at 500. Imagine if they're just playing average ball, what their record will be like. I see the vision for the future, guys, and I hope you do too. thank you for being here. That's going to be it for me. I'm going to go ahead and get off here, get dressed, and I'm going to have some ramen at the ramen shop here in Kagoshima with my lovely lady. And after that, who knows? I got to find something else to do for the rest of the day. But until then, thank you very much. And all I will say is, as usual,